All right, let's see. All right, so today's just one of those weird days that I just decided I'm going to get online and show you something. Whether you show up or not, it's fine. If this looks familiar, this is the old house, and this used to be my homeschool room. So we kind of had a little malfunction, and we had a freezer that failed because we still use it for freezing, keeping as our freezers. Like, see, there's a freezer there. And I was going through some things, and I found something that I think you're going to love to see. In fact, I love to see it. So I was flipping through. I'm going to flip this over and just start showing you what I found. It is my homeschool portfolio builds for my kids. All right, so nothing extravagant here today. So I came across this little binder, and it had my son's name. And I was like, I wonder what it is. And after I flipped through it, I seen I had my daughter's. And I'm like, well, let's see what it is. So again, like one of those little Dollar Cheap folders. This is from 2015, 2016 Homeschool. So I think I might actually go and build these pages for you and make them public if you'd like. Leave me a comment if you would like that. But what this is like my little portfolio that I would build throughout the year. I think this is, I probably didn't even turn in a portfolio. I probably didn't even need to turn in a portfolio, but this was my method. And to be honest, if I got this as a homeschool evaluator, I would be fine with it. So this is using Christian Light Education. You could use LifePack, ACE, you could use even master books in a way. I mean, they have it kind of set up for you, but this was before master books. This is 2015, folks. This was my thinking. So what I would do is, if you're familiar with Light Units or LifePack or ACE, you usually have a quiz, or they call it self-test or some other, and then you would average out and you might get a test. So what I did was I gave myself space. In this case, this is Bible, and this year had 12. But look, I gave myself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 spots. Whether I used them or not, this was just my template for my Bible. And this is what I would do to take my little booklet from that section, or you might even think of these booklets as chapters, like 12 chapters. And I would have my spot there to label the unit. I would write what he got for quiz 1, quiz 2. If there was another, I'd average the 2 quizzes. And if there's a test, what was my final? And then maybe this one's to give my total final. But I would do that for each one. So this is where we are for math. We put in here, I put in the grades, came up with an average. You're going to see here for 10, all I did was give him the test. He got 100%. We didn't even do that. So that was my final grade. But I would do this for each one, so that it gave me like an idea of where we were at. Now here, we were not going to do all of them. We just did 6, and I probably had something else planned for later. Or maybe we were going to go deeper than the book, so I didn't need it. So I just kind of customized this like little method of doing it. Here was our science. So what I went ahead and did with this was on the back. So here is, I know you can't see it really well, but Science, Sunrise Bible 300. And here is the syllabus. This is what's being covered in each one. So instead of reinventing the wheel, I would just print out what I'd hoped to plan. And then I'd cross it off as we went, or what we needed. So I think I crossed these off because this was not what I needed. I needed these components for like math. Let me keep going. So you can see I did that for all of them. So I knew what I was going. So if I got evaluated, I had my scope and sequence here. And then I created, this was my daily. So see, this is back in 2015. And I would write, here is the plan, if that makes sense. I don't know what I had to check. I think the check mark was attendance. So I probably was not doing portfolios. I was doing the umbrella school at the time, and I had my start date. I put a little check box here, and then I put Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I wrote the dates, and see, I didn't even plan to homeschool every day, so I knew. And I probably was highlighting what we got done, if that makes sense. And this was one of the things I really liked about Christian Light Education was I could just write these little numbers, and I knew that was 2nd grade, 8th book, 1st lesson. 2nd grade, 4th book, 1st lesson. And I could write those down. And if you can see, there is no science or Bible yet. Because usually back then, I was smart enough. I feel like over the years, I just made mountains. This is back when I kept it very simple. I didn't even start any of that until 4th week is when I started those activities. And if I really would have been smart, I would have just did math the first day, but I was always living and learning. And then for me, because I was required to put my attendance in, so I was required to have a start date when I reported each month or each quarter, and I was required to have the number of days we schooled. So I would put those in for myself there. And I would have this printed out for the entire year. I don't know what happened here. Who knows what happened here? But remember, I wouldn't go and try it and fill it all out at once. See, I made myself a note. I made myself a note when it was Thanksgiving. I'm full of good intentions I don't follow through on. But this was how I would lay out. I probably updated. Another thing I did, this is one of my favorite ways. Christian Liberty Press does it. And this is the California Achievement Test Level 3. This is for entering grade 4. And we did this in 2016 and see at a 4.8. That was because the year before we did Christian Light, Learning to Read, if we have any talks back then. But it tells you like their grade equivalent. And when he left last year, the year before at the end, he was at a 0.8. And we made those gains just doing Christian Light and listening to good books. So I would put all of our old test scores in here. And then all I would do is put the quizzes, and I think I just threw them in here as we went. And the only thing this probably would need to be a great book or a great portfolio is if I would have kept a list of books he read or read aloud books and field trips. That might have rounded this out, but I'm going to tell you, as a homeschool evaluator, I would be fine with this completed. And so I was wondering, like, is my daughter's here? And here's my daughter's. And you're going to see it looks exactly the same. I think at this point is when, let's see, it's been 7 years. This is when she started getting sick. So we did not get very far. But the same premise, how I set it up. I wrote the book numbers here so I knew where we were at. But even though I could tell, pretty much where we were at. On it, I provided the scope and sequence in here. Sometimes I would come in here 82%, 64%. So it gave me a better idea what we were having trouble with. So in this section for language arts, she had a 64 in here because we couldn't recognize past and present irregular verbs. So then it made it easier for me to go, oh, we need to come back here and work on that. And again, the same thing. I would put down our dates. See, look, things started not to happen, or we skipped out on it. And then we would put her. As you can tell, she was doing 5th grade Bible. And according to Christian Light, she was doing 3rd grade math. And in the end, she was ready to take calculus. She's ready to take calculus this year. We just don't know how she's doing. To say this is advanced, it is, but it's a phenomenal curriculum. Sometimes we had to do the alternative test in here. It's like a walk through memory lane. It's so kind of precious. Yeah, we had some stapling issues. Somebody didn't know what to do. Whatever, we just stuck it in there. So all the reading. So this is what we did. This was, let's see. This was how I used to do it. This is how I kept it simple. I'm not going to lie. If I would have stuck to this, I would not be so burnt out. I mean, we were kind of burnt out, which I thought we were at the time, doing Christian Light method. I love their math. I love their language arts. I love their reading. I love their reading, but I find even their language arts, I find very advanced, very, very advanced. But I find it phenomenal. Bible is good. All right, there I go. Sorry about that. I'm having some major Wi-Fi issues, so I came outside to the overgrown garden to finish this up. So I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, right now I'm at a point I am so burned out and miserable. I just drove my 9th grader to the start of the high school. My 3 younger ones are going to a private school. My 2 oldest, those 2 I just showed you the portfolio of, are the ones that are going to still be quote unquote homeschool. What does that homeschool look like? That home education looks like dual enrollment, Florida virtual, and a few things that I find important to call a class for high school. I have one as a senior, one as an 11th grader. What will next year hold? I don't know. But I do plan to go and give you some more reviews. I came across some of my other portfolios and I was just amazed at what we really were accomplishing when I didn't feel like I've gotten accomplished. Now, I have had, and I've taken things like that to a homeschool evaluator, and they're like, this is it. And I'm like, yeah, this is it. But I'm going to tell you, after teaching, that's pretty good. You don't need to see the evidence. You just need to see the evidence that we are moving forward. And that's according to Florida law. Not to, it's not a federal thing. It's Florida law that's how that works. So I just thought you enjoyed it. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe. And I want to give you the down low. I started a second channel. Because, well, Just So Trish is phenomenal and has been phenomenal reaching everybody, and it's been great for sharing just what it takes with our responsibility to live life, get our kids schooled and educated, taking care of our family, and how to do things as a large family, and how to do things in hard situations. This room just kind of brings me back to hard situations, and how to do all those things, right? Large cooking and stuff. And sometimes I share my weight loss journey. Sometimes I'm sharing my health journey. Sometimes I'm dealing with my anxiety with you. And it occurred to me this summer, there's a lot of things I want to talk about with you, but I find it kind of awkward to talk about it on this channel. It is. Because this channel, we talk about family things. And so this channel is always being mindful. You're probably sitting with your kids, or you're probably, and one of the things I've been struggling with in the last year or so, 2 years, 3 years, that I haven't always wanted to talk about, but I'm ready to talk about it, is the fact I have some identity issues after just kind of giving and giving and giving. And let me tell you, I would not change it whatsoever, but I want to share things of just finding me again, finding my relevance to myself, finding the fact that, am I so busy I can't be quiet with God because I'm so busy doing a Martha lifestyle when I need to have a Mary? And am I eating the things I should be eating as a menopausal woman? Have I just not taken care of my health the way I want to? Am I aging quicker than I should be because I've put myself on hold? These are the things I'm asking myself, and these are the things I'm challenging myself. And to be honest, to come here and talk to you all about it, I feel weird. I just feel weird. Maybe I shouldn't feel weird. Maybe it's just all encompassing. But I felt like Just So Trish needed an Just So Trish other identity. And don't make fun of me. It still is Just So Trish. It's just S-O Trish, not S-E-W Trish. And I plan to really explore reminding me of who I am and the questions I ask, and maybe we can ask them together, and pushing myself that might encourage you to push yourself to remember the fearless, fierce young girls we were, because we're still them. And I think my kids are even having a hard time with that, because in some ways they're pushing me my buttons and they're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you're acting like that. And I'm just like, honey, you've had mom mode for the last 17 years. You're going to keep it up and you're going to get who your mama really is. Keep it up. And some of y'all are going to be like, well, that's how I've always been. I'm like, I get it, but not me. I suffer from ADHD. I lost my sense of self. I'm a very big people person, which is probably why I YouTubed. And then to go ahead and just be like, I have nobody to talk to for so long. I kind of began questioning all things. It has not been a healthy thing. So just mental health preservation, being a Generation X in this crazy world, finding and learning from the generations before me and after me, that I go, oh, that would have been a good self-preservation thing to do. So I just kind of wanted to put that out there. I know I just talked about portfolios and now I'm talking about the other channel for probably the same amount of time. But I hope this helps. If you haven't done so already and you made it to the end of the babbling, down below at some point I'm going to put the new JUSTSO Trish video link that doesn't exist yet, but I'm on Instagram. And just go ahead and just hit the subscribe button. We're going to definitely be exploring the homeschool highs and lows of my baby girl going into her senior year. And to give you an idea where we're at, she's supposed to take calculus, physics, and speech at the college this year. And it's really questionable because of her health. So, I thought we had turned a corner, and every time we turn a corner where we think we're onto something new, it's almost like we have just a hurricane come and just destroy us in every which way. So I will talk to you soon about that. Sometimes it's hard, but I'm trying. It's a hard thing to share. I will talk to you soon. I love y'all very much. Tell me about your portfolio experience. Put it down in the comments. Show me what you like. Tell me if you want the I'm pointing at it. If you want some of those worksheets, and I can see what I can do. All right, I will talk to you later. I wish you the best, and I hope it goes well. Till then, happy schooling.